Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the witness and those who've traveled to Washington to discuss this important issue that's going to be covered in our legislative hearing today. This morning, we held a full committee oversight hearing on restoring common sense to NEPA reviews. It's consistent with the theme of permitting reform this afternoon. One of the bills on this hearing's agenda is a discussion draft to reauthorize and reform the Marine Mammal Protection Act. The MMPA has been law for more than 50 years, and its permitting process and subsequent authorizations affect everyone. The MMPA, like many others, has been subject to extensive litigation over the last several decades and is filled with a lot of ambiguous terms that govern its implementation. One jarring example of this Act's implementation came to my attention when I visited the Nisqually Indian tribe in the Pacific Northwest a few years ago. The region and its tribes face a pervasive challenge due to the increasing population of sea lions and other pinnipeds, which are hindering the recovery of endangered salmon. Previous reforms to the MMPA have sought to address sea lion predation in the region by authorizing take. Unfortunately, the MMPA's implementation has hindered efforts to recover threatened and endangered species like salmon, ultimately limiting the Nisqually tribe's access to salmon, which is their traditional source of protein. While further discussions are needed to identify the appropriate legislative solution to this and many other ongoing problems, what's clear is that the MMPA as it currently exists is not always meeting its intended goals. As the committee continues to engage with stakeholders, addressing sea lion predation is just one of the issues that will be top of mind. The discussion draft before us makes several important reforms to MMPA. It clarifies terms that are undefined, removes arbitrary timelines, and seeks to ensure that the best available science is used in making decisions and determinations. While some may inaccurately attempt to characterize the discussion draft as a giveaway to certain industries, it is essential that everyone understands the full scope of stakeholders impacted by the implementation of MMPA. Simply put, the MMPA touches nearly every activity that happens offshore in U.S. waters. For example, the state of Texas Parks and Wildlife Department has been attempting to gain authorization under the MMPA for its gill net fishery research program for more than a decade. This program has been one of the most important for Texas fisheries management. The department acknowledges that it is the cornerstone of the longest-running fishery independent data collection program in the country. Despite working for more than a decade to receive authorization under MMPA for this research program, they were, again, unfortunately unable to do so. As a result, Texas lost more than a year's worth of critical data, undermining fisheries management for Texas and the Gulf Coast. This is not the outcome that we should expect from the regulatory process under this Act. It's clear that we need to improve the MMPA processes. The reforms outlined in this discussion draft represent the first step in the committee's work to reform the MMPA and to bring it up to date in the 21st century. This effort aligns well with our broader effort to improve U.S. permitting processes, a top priority for the committee and for many who are involved. Once again, I want to say thank you to the witnesses that will be here today, and I look forward to the discussion and yield back the balance of my time.